At a demolition site, a crane is used to shift a massive concrete column under an improper loading setup. As the load shifts, the entire machine begins to lose proper positioning. Do not use a mobile crane to push, drag, or remove standing structural columns through unsafe force. On a steep residential street, a concrete mixer experiences a mechanical issue and begins moving. Within moments, the moving truck heads toward nearby structures. Prioritize immediate personal clearance whenever a heavy commercial vehicle begins moving uncontrollably, and leave any recovery attempt to properly planned emergency response actions. Chasing, climbing onto, or trying to stop a rolling truck places you directly in its path and can escalate a property damage event into a far more serious situation when the vehicle shifts, changes direction, or contacts an object. Always set the parking brake and place heavy-duty wheel chocks before stepping away from the cab on an incline. In a maintenance yard, workers attempt an improper tire seating method with a massive tire, but it didn't go as planned. Rely on approved tire seating procedures and certified inflation equipment when working with industrial tires, especially where large amounts of retained pressure are involved. Introducing heat into a sealed, high-pressure space can turn a routine maintenance task into a serious equipment hazard. Always rely on certified tire seating equipment, safety cages, and remote inflation systems instead of unsafe shortcuts. Heavy machinery tires hold enormous amounts of retained pressure, meaning one heat source in the wrong place can cause that pressure to release suddenly with almost no warning. In a parking area, a worker enters an open utility access point just inches from parked cars. Without notice, a vehicle rolls forward into the work area. Establish a high-visibility barricaded exclusion zone before beginning any ground-level utility work in an active traffic lane or parking area. Working around an open manhole without a protected perimeter removes you from a driver's clear line of sight and creates a serious vehicle path hazard. Always establish a clear isolation zone with cones, warning signs, and physical barriers before opening any utility cover. Never assume a parked vehicle will remain stationary, especially when you are working in an area with limited driver visibility. At a truck repair yard, a mechanic applies excessive force to a heavy pry bar under load. Suddenly, the bar shifts unexpectedly. Apply controlled leverage and maintain a stable working position when using hand tools on heavy machinery under resistance. High-force repairs should be handled with the right equipment and body. Positioning, because relying on full body weight, momentum, or gravity can instantly turn a pry bar into a loss of control hazard the moment the tool slips or the mechanism releases. Always maintain a stable stance and pull toward your center of gravity instead of pushing with your body in the direct path of movement. At a backyard work site, a contractor steps from a ladder toward a roof access point. The setup becomes unstable and the ladder moves out of position during the transition. Set up extension ladders so they extend at least 3 feet above the landing edge to provide a stable, secure roof transition. That extra height provides a reliable handhold and improves step-off control, while a ladder that stops too low can quickly shift out of position when body weight transfers onto or off the landing surface. Without that extra height, stepping off can shift your weight in a way that causes the ladder base to move out. At a weighbridge, a driver climbs onto a loaded trailer to pull a tarp across the top. During the process, he loses footing on the uneven surface. Handle load tarping from protected systems at ground level, or use proper fall protection whenever the task involves working above a trailer. Elevated trailer surfaces and uneven cargo create an unstable footing environment, and manual tarping from the top introduces a serious balance and fall hazard with very little warning. Always use ground-level tarping systems, fall protection harnesses, or elevated safety gantries. The top of a loaded trailer offers very little stability, and one misstep can result in a serious elevated workplace risk event. Saving a few minutes is never worth taking that risk. At a construction site, workers guide large steel arches near an unsecured scaffold. One unexpected shift causes the scaffold structure to move out of position at once. Clear personnel from temporary scaffolding and secure the surrounding work zone before moving large structural materials anywhere nearby. Unbraced scaffolds offer minimal resistance against shifting steel, so even slight contact or transferred movement can quickly turn a manageable lift into a major stability failure involving both the structure and anyone positioned on it. Always clear the restricted work zone and ensure all workers are safely on the ground before shifting massive architectural components around a site. Scaffolding must be thoroughly secured and positioned completely outside the restricted movement path of heavy materials. Inside a workshop, a technician inspects an energized electrical component near an open bay. During the inspection, an electrical discharge occurs at the connection. Fully de-energize, isolate, and verify electrical systems before inspecting or servicing exposed connections. Live electrical equipment can fail or discharge without warning, turning an ordinary inspection into a serious electrical exposure event in far less time than a person can recognize the danger and react safely. Always lock out and tag out the power source before working near open electrical components. Electrical failures can develop faster than a person can respond. At a commercial loading dock, workers begin unloading a tall, top-heavy stack of beverage crates with a pallet jack. Then the load begins to move out of alignment. Secure loose, high-stacked cargo into a stable single unit before pulling it off a commercial vehicle with a pallet jack. The transition from truck bed to ground can rapidly shift the load's center of gravity, and an unstrapped top-heavy stack can move out of alignment almost instantly once momentum and surface changes begin affecting the pallet. Always shrink wrap or firmly band high-stacked inventory into a single solid unit before moving it with a manual pallet jack. Because a pallet jack offers extremely limited lateral stability, in a busy yard, a forklift rounds a blind corner and enters an active traffic path without noticing an approaching vehicle. Approach blind corners at controlled speed, use warning signals early, and make sure the path is clear before entering any shared traffic area. In active yards, limited corner visibility can place forklifts and other vehicles on intersecting paths with very little time to react. Always slow down at blind corners, sound the horn in advance, and stay alert for cross traffic before proceeding. In busy work zones, corner visibility can be limited even when your forward view appears clear, so every turn into a shared route should be treated as a potential vehicle intersection hazard. On this residential construction site, a mason works on the edge of a freshly poured cantilever slab. Then the temporary supports shift beneath him unexpectedly. Never stand, kneel, or work on a freshly poured cantilever slab or temporary formwork unless the supporting shoring has been properly engineered and verified for the full load. To prevent this, crews must use engineered cross-brace shoring beneath all suspended pours and leave it in place until the concrete reaches its required strength.